outside the window. Oh my god. I thought it was inside for a minute. Oh god. That's not going in the video. Hey guys, so last Friday I had a really intense evening. First of all, it started out with I got tickets to go see Dan and Phil and the Amazing Tours Not on Fire! So that's happening in June and I'm super excited to go. If any of you are gonna go, let me know about it because I'm super excited. I need someone to talk to about it. So yeah, that happened. I was really excited. So I wanted to go out and celebrate, but none of my friends that I talked to were able to hang out and go out on such a short notice. So I decided I would just celebrate by myself at home, you know, watch some Netflix, maybe have a drink. Super exciting life I lead, right? Well, that's what I thought too. And then the celebration apparently decided to come to me. So I'm just sitting here in bed minding my own business when all of a sudden I hear some very noisy people coming up the stairs outside of my apartment. Like, obviously drunk, they're being rather loud, stomping, and I'm like, oh, my neighbor's probably having some friends over, like maybe having kind of an after party after the bar. Whatever, I'm cool with that. I'm pretty easygoing about that. Until they started trying to open my door. But now, they weren't just trying to open the door or try to break in or anything. I could actually hear a key trying to be turned in the lock. Needless to say, I was still a little freaked out. So I go over to the door with my intruder smashing stick axe handle, and I just yell, "Who is there?" And then from the other side of the door, I immediately hear, "Oh, sorry, like he told us that he lived here, sorry." And my response immediately is, "He does not live here." Because mind you, at this point, I'm still a little freaked out that these people are trying to get into my house. Nothing like this has ever happened. And the guy outside who was trying to open the door, who I shall now call Frat Boy Carl, was just profusely apologizing. I'm sorry, I didn't know, he told us 223, I'm so sorry. Like he was stammering and terrified of the fact that he just actually tried to break into my home. So I'm still standing inside of my door, and I hear him start to yell at his friend, who we shall call Drunk Bobby. "Dude, this isn't your apartment, you just made me try to break into this lady's house, what's wrong with you, oh my god." And Drunk Bobby, who is obviously at any point beyond comprehension of what he's saying and should not have been trusted in the first place, is just absolutely wailing and crying. Like, I have never seen someone this drunk. Like, this is my best interpretation of what Drunk Bobby was like. "Oh, I'm sorry, oh no, I can't help it, I just want to go home and lay down, oh god, it hurts, oh." That's not even remotely accurate, it was much worse than that. I can't even describe it to you, he was so loud. And because I am a compassionate Hufflepuff, I then start to feel sorry for the other guys because they're obviously having nowhere to go now. So I sort of open the door and I'm like, "Do you need me to call the police or an ambulance or something for him?" And frat guy Carl is all like, no, he's thrown it up already. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to try to break it. He told us 223, like, we don't know what, we've been spending an hour trying to find his house. And I get a good look at Drunk Bobby, and I'm just like, I have never seen that person before in my life. He doesn't live anywhere on this block of houses, at least. And then Drunk Bobby decides that since the door's open, clearly this is his apartment. So he starts walking towards the apartment, again, still screaming and crying about how he wants to go to bed. And so I shut the door and I wait inside for about 5 minutes just thinking, God, they have no idea what they're doing, clearly. And I am an experienced drunk mom, and I have a soft spot for people who need my help. And meanwhile, frat guy Carl is on the phone with someone else saying, "Dude, do you know where Bobby lives? Because he told us this apartment and we just tried to break into this girl's house. He's too drunk to help us." Now you're too drunk to help us. You don't understand what I'm going through right now. These guys were seriously having an awful night, clearly. And so I, being unable to now turn my back on the situation because I now felt involved and like I had to help, I threw on a coat, grabbed some water, and came outside. They'd moved Drunk Bobby downstairs by now, so I came down the stairs and asked if they needed any water for him. And frat guy Carl and Good Samaritan James, yeah, the other guy who was with them was just a guy who had seen them struggling around trying to find this guy's house, so he helped them out. Good guy there. They said, well, we've already gotten some water from some other people, but, you know, anything will help. And so apparently frat guy Carl's phone at this point had run out of battery, and they obviously couldn't get the password out of Drunk Bobby to get into his own phone so they could try to call his girlfriend or something. So they're trying to think of a way to find out where he could possibly live, because what are they gonna do with him at this point? So frat guy Carl runs off to charge his phone in Good Samaritan James's car. Of course, that means he left Drunk Bobby with Good Samaritan James and I, neither of whom knew the guy at all. I feel like Good Samaritan James and I developed a sense of kinship very quickly over dealing with this drunk person that neither of us really knew. And at this point, Both Good Samaritan James and I are pretty frustrated, him decidedly more so because he'd been dealing this for so much longer. And after about 5 minutes of us being alone with this drunk wailing person who could not tell us anything about where he lived or his phone number or any person that he knew, just kept wailing about some chick named Melissa, finally frat guy Carl comes back. Man, shut up, I found out where you live, now come on, we're gonna get you home now. Frat guy Carl was clearly very done with drunk Bobby. Now, I, at this point, was not only feeling emotionally involved, but I just really wanted to see how this ended. So I followed them out to the parking lot, and this car drives up from the bottom of the apartment complex. And apparently, they found his girlfriend. So I look at Good Samaritan James next to me, and I say, I really feel bad for her right now having to deal with this tonight. Finally, drunk Bobby seemed to be where he belonged. And frat guy Carl comes up to me and says, you are probably the best person this could have happened to. Thanks so much for all your help. Like, if I see you out at the bar, I'm gonna buy you a drink. And I, of course, was skeptical that I would get that free drink because, you know, I don't really go to bars much because, well, I didn't get to go to the bar that evening, so why am I gonna try again? After about 20 minutes of dealing with drunk Bobby, this saga finally seemed to have drawn to a close, so I bid my farewells to Good Samaritan James and frat guy Carl, and then went up to my apartment to scroll mindlessly through Tumblr some more, after checking to make sure my door was locked about 5 times. I'm now very paranoid about having my door locked, because if it hadn't been locked that evening, oh my god, they would have gotten in. Mind you, this all took place before 1 a.m. Come on, drunk Bobby, at least make it through to like 3 before you get to this state. It's literally the most college-y thing that's ever happened to me, and I'm about to graduate and been living here for 2.5 years. Nothing like this has ever happened before. I've never dealt with anyone that drunk, even. I now have a new appreciation for all of my very well-behaved drunk friends, and I also now feel much better about myself for every time I had to be taken care of while drunk, because I was never in that state, at least. If I was, just don't let me know. So yeah, that was my crazy Friday evening. If any of you have any really weird drunk people stories, leave me a comment about it and we can laugh about it together, because now I understand what other people have been through. Thanks for joining me on this trip into Andeeland, guys. Like my video and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more from the depths of my brain. See you next week. Bye!